Welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest news. Coming up on today's episode, Sam Johnstone is still wanted as Forest search for a goalkeeper. Some silly links to Forest and some players. Morgan and Graben return to the City ground, and it's match day tonight as Forest take on Olympiacos. All this and plenty more coming up today on your latest Forest news. Let's get into it. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. And boy, have we got some weird links that we got to tell you guys about today. So if you're enjoying the content, please don't forget, as always, to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new, and a huge massive thank you to all of you, as you have now taken us over the magic 20,000 mark. Much love and a shout out from me and everyone at FFTV, and a shout out to everyone at FFTV for all their hard work and dedication as well. And don't forget to check out Football Prizes' latest giveaway, and this one is an absolute beauty because it's not just one framed shirt, it's two framed shirts signed by Nuno and Taiwo. And on top of that, if you hit ticket number 40, you will instantly win a signed Murillo shirt. If you win that, let me know. I want to see you guys winning these things. And of course, if you hit ticket number 225, again, an Insta prize win of the new Forest kit. Football Prizes are just begging you guys to win these. Go check it out. The link's pinned in the comments, or scan the QR code there. Alrighty then, let's kick this off with the goalkeeper link to Sam Johnstone. Now, this isn't a new link to Forest. We've been linked to him in the previous window, which we'll come onto in a second. But let me tell you about his current state of play. Palace are away on tour, and he's informed the club that he would now like to leave, as he wants to be a first choice keeper. He's lost his place, the first team shirt, to ex-Forest loanee Dean Henderson, and now he's decided it is time to move on to pastures new to get himself the #1 shirt. Now, there are a number of clubs interested in him. Obviously, Forest are one of them, another one would be Wolves, another one Southampton, and the other one Leicester. And you may notice I didn't say West Ham. This may be breaking news, the first time we've talked about a link that Forest have that West Ham aren't copycatting us on. Anyway, let's move forward. Now, the asking price for him from Crystal Palace is £10 million, or thereabouts. However, I'd be surprised if it got that high, seeing that both parties have agreed it's time to call it a day. So that would be the high-end side of things for me. The other thing to note is his age. He's 31. Now, okay, this isn't like an outfield player. A goalkeeper can tend to go on to like their 35 all the way up to what, 37, 38. Remember Navas back at Forest. So he can still have a few years in him. He's been in the England squad quite regularly and a decent keeper. In fact, I think most Palace fans would say that he's better than Dean Henderson. But for me, I'm not for this for a couple of reasons. Number one, we tried to get him in January before he had his injury, and he flat out rejected coming to Forest. He preferred to stay at Crystal Palace. So what has changed, Mr. Johnstone, in the last few months, that you've lost your first team shirt to Dean Henderson, and now you would consider potentially a move to Nottingham Forest? I don't like it that way round. So for me, that rules him out straight away. Secondly, I don't think he's a major upgrade on Sels or Carlos Miguel. And to be honest, with the other goalkeepers that we're linked with the likes of Ramsdale, with the likes of Kelleher, I would have both of them ahead of not just Johnstone, but the other two keepers we currently have. And thirdly, I just don't think he's the right profile for us. I'll be honest with you, he is a good keeper, and he wouldn't cost that much. But is there enough of that gulf between what we have to Sam Johnstone? And my answer to that would be no. And therefore, that for me has to be the barometer. Forget my whole pride thing and I can't swallow it about he said no in January. That's the key thing for me. If we are going to recruit our 600th goalkeeper of the transfer window, then they damn well be a lot better than what we currently have. But that's just my opinion on it. And my final point on this look at the clubs that are linked with him. Leicester, Southampton, Wolves. The only passable club there for me is Wolves. Leicester fans are getting excited about Sam Johnstone links. They're beneath us. Southampton, I do actually quite like Southampton, but they're a freshly promoted club. These aren't the clubs we should be competing with for signings. As much as I take the mick out of West Ham, they are the right kind of club that Forest should be battling with to get these new players in. So that would be another alarm bell for me. Just my opinion. I want to know what you guys think. If you had a choice between Sam Johnstone, Ramsdale or Kelleher from Liverpool, which one of those would you take? Or would you be happy to stick with Sels or Carlos Miguel? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, let's move into the weird and wacky section now, talking about stupid rumours that are doing the round, and we just got to address them. If the fan base is talking about it, well, why not? Vinnie Souza from Sheffield. I mean, do I need to continue on with this section? Probably one of the worst central midfielders / CDMs that I saw last year in the Premier League. Even the Sheffield fans don't like him. I spoke to Jimmy as well about him. He's like, please take him from us. He's been a bad apple for them. Okay, he probably has potential and qualities, but he's at 25, and he proved last year in the Premier League that he couldn't cut it. So I'm going ahead with this, pretending like this is even real, because as far as I'm concerned, this is all BS. It's all been triggered off on a social media platform from some no-namer talking about it being linked, and because they've got a foreign tag and wrote this in Portuguese, it must be real. So the talks is that Forest are interested in him, and I just can't give it any more credence than that. And like I said, let's pretend it's real, which it's not. One, I don't want anyone from Sheffield. Thank you very much. Plus, put aside that I hate them, put onto the real facts that they got relegated. Their whole team was crap. The only player I would consider taking from Sheffield would be Hamer. That's the main one for me. If Forest were linked to him, I'd put my hatred for Sheffield to one side and I'd consider it because he's a decent player. And I'm actually surprised he hasn't left yet. Next, let's go on to talk about his valuation. They bought him for about 12.5 million euros last season, and his valuation has actually dropped to 11.5. And that tells you everything you need to know on this crappy player. So for me, it's a no. Look, let's pretend we're in this weird and wonderful world where every connection and every rumour is true. Could I see the logic behind getting a backup to Sangare? Because we have no one else who can really play CDM. You could argue maybe Yates, you could argue maybe Danilo can play that position, but they're not out and out sixes for me, where Sangare is, and he's pretty much the only one we've currently got. So let's quash this one, but say that Forest do need a CDM as backup. Or ideally get someone who's better than Sangare, because as I always say, get someone who's going to challenge that first team place rather than someone who's going to be happy and content to come into the team to bench warm. Now, I'm not saying there are better than Sangare that we can get, but competition for places is definitely a good thing. And this brings me on to another silly rumour that's making the rounds. And this one is for a Turkish player called Freddy Kadiglu. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. And this player has been linked, and there has been serious interest from the likes of Arsenal, from the likes of Real Madrid and Forest. But apparently Brighton are putting a 35 million bid in for him. Now, he is a wing back. He predominantly plays on the right, can play on the left. And the fact that he's more right-sided makes you feel, or should I say, clarifies the point that this link is very, very loose. If anything at all, it would be drummed up by his agent or people in his close circles. Because the rumours are now that Brighton have West Ham even have put in a £35 million bid for him. And he is a good player. I would take him at Forest. But as far as I've heard, there's been no interest in this one at all. So those are the silly rumours doing the rounds right now. But this is a crazy window. And if we end up with Vinnie Souza, or Souza, however you say it, I ain't going to hear the end of it from Jimmy. I can tell you that much. You okay, hun? Okay, just a quick positive note on some ex-Forest players that have rejoined in some kind of coaching role. I'll talk you through each of them in just a second. And that is Wes Morgan and Lewis Grabban. Wes Morgan, who the Leicester fans have the audacity to say is a blue. Well, how's that ended up for you, Leicester? He's back at Nottingham Forest, as is Grabban, as I just mentioned. Now, Grabban will be coaching the under-18s team, teaching them how to shoot, hopefully, and all that good stuff, passing on his experience. And Wes Morgan is going to be more in a talent position. I don't know what his official title is, but here's what it said on the official announcement. When Wes Morgan was born in Nottingham, not Leicester, it doesn't say that bit, and played over 400 times for the Reds, joins the club as a national scout. His primary goal will be to assist Dan Kelly's newly formed PDP and emerging talent recruitment team, helping to find exciting talent for our full-time squads. So this is really good to see that Forest are looking ahead to the future, because our academy is struggling at the moment to produce players that can break through the team. Now, that's not because the players in there aren't good. It's just because the part of the cycle that Forest are currently in, we have to establish ourselves as a Premier League club, and to do that you need to invest, and you can't just chuck a bunch of youth into the first team squad. What you want to do once hopefully Forest are established is then bleed some through the system. We're seeing Zach Abbott likely, hopefully, to be in and around the first team squad, because he's a quality talent as far as I'm concerned, and hopefully one or two others will emerge throughout the season. Then in a couple of years' times, once Forest are established, maybe Europe, who knows, then you can start to see more and more coming through. So this is Forest looking forward ahead to the future, and I really do like this strategy. Both of them in their own rights, you could argue, are club legends. For me, I love Wes Morgan, so I'm more than happy that he is back. But how do you guys feel about this? Is it good to almost keep it in-house, so to speak, and bring in these former Forest players in to help those youth who can look up to them? Let me know your thoughts down below. Alrighty, let's look ahead to the Olympiacos game, and as always we will have the watch along for you tonight, and this is going to be Forest's last pre-season game before the real business on the pitch begins against Bournemouth on the City Ground next Saturday, the 17th, I think it is, at 3 p.m. By the way, have you seen the lack of TV coverage Forest will be getting from Sky? I wonder if that's anything to do with those tweets at all, as the majority of our games will be Saturday 3 p.m. for at least the first month or two of the Premier League season. Anyway, that's a whole different topic to discuss. So what do I want to see out of this game? It is the last one, and I like the way Nuno's built up to a crescendo almost in this pre-season, and we've been seeing some good quality football, some good minutes in the legs, and all that usual cliches that you hear in pre-season. But what I like is the pattern of plays, and what I'm really hoping for tonight is a good test against Olympiacos. Remember, they are European-ish, in quotes, champions, as they won the Europa Crappy Conference last season. So they are coming in full of confidence. And the Olympiacos fans, no doubt, are full of confidence as well, now that they have a European piece of glory to go with their collection of 6 million league title wins. But for me, I care about what Forest do. And I want to see Forest really competing tonight, turning it up a notch. And it will be interesting to see Nuno's team selection. We are starting to get some interesting ideas and thoughts into the way Nuno's mind's working. For example, we're seeing Sangare and Danilo looking like that's his #1 choice for the 6 and the 8. We saw Murillo and Milenkovic partner up in the last game as well, and I feel that's going to be our starting pairing at the back. But there still are some questions to be answered. How fit is Taiwo? Is he ready for the Premier League? Should he be starting tonight? And what are we doing with Elanga? Can we please stop playing him as a false 9? It just baffles me. It really does. So, although there is still some pieces of the jigsaw that need to be put together, Nuno himself has said that he wants to work with the squad he's currently got, and basically anything extra would be an added bonus, but he loves the loyalty, and for him, signings really have been this summer about the players he's kept, the likes of MGW, the likes of Murillo, etc. So I'm expecting a good game tonight where we probably see something close to the starting 11 that Nuno's thinking about for Bournemouth next weekend. And also longer minutes in the legs for those main players. Maybe getting them up to 70, 75, 80 minutes. Maybe a few of them trying to do 90 and see how they feel. I'll be interested to see how Sangare copes, because for me in the last game, he looked like he started to gas at about 60 minutes. So getting more time on the pitch for him will be extremely important. And I really do think Murillo and Milenkovic need to spend as much time on the pitch together as possible to really get that partnership blossoming. And Murillo, please don't give away any penalties tonight. That's what I'm trying to say there. So we'll be here for the watch along from 7:40. I think kickoff's at 8 tonight. So make sure you come and tune in and chat to the rest of the Reds in there. If you've enjoyed the content, please don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. Go grab your tickets for the double framed shirt signed giveaway from Football Prizes. I'll leave it on the end screen for you, or you can scan that QR code or click on the links in the comments. We'll see you tonight at 7:40. Come on, you Reds.